Hi guys, this episode is going to be more of a silent episode. I'm going to be doing a lot of building. I'm going to go over a couple of things before I get started though, but most of this episode will actually just be one giant time lapse. I've decided I'm going to do some intense amount of building, and then I'm going to move on to doing some fun stuff. So let's talk about the things in the UI that have probably caught some of your attention. I have blood drops over to the far left, and some more buttons on my action bar down here. Toggle bat form, speed, night vision, drink blood. I am a vampire. Witchery latest update unlocked the vampire part of the mod. So recently werewolves were added and now vampires have been added. So that's cool. And I decided to go and do that off camera. Because a lot of it is pretty tedious actually and doesn't make for good TV. So that's why I decided to do that. But being vampire is fun. I can now one-hit Enderman, because vampires innately have either strength 1 or strength 2, I'm not quite sure. So bam, see? And some other things that I've done is I've done some cleanup of this. I've decided to keep the platform as being the technical part. The rest of it will be this obsidian. So wherever possible we'll be using obsidian rather than technical blocks. Technical blocks will be there for the splash of interest and the fact that we are Endermen using technology. So what I've done is to keep things kind of Enderman mystical. I've used, what are they called? Charged quartz fixtures as my light source where I can, except for here, which I kind of wanted the giant glowing panels. So these sit underneath a glass cover because they're microblock friendly. You can combine them in the same block space. And when you're walking down these halls, hopefully, because we're going to do it all the way down these halls, occasionally you'll see a crackle of lightning if we wait here long enough. Hopefully. Come on, one of you do it. It's random. There we go, that one did it. See the crackle of lightning. So that's pretty cool. Other things that I've done, I have set up this. All this is doing is making me obsidian. Lots and lots of obsidian. Because we're Endermen, we're going to need a lot of obsidian. And I set up this thing. Now thermal expansion, I don't know when they implemented it, but autonomous activators are now powered. So this thing here, what this does, I also set up a quarry, by the way, and this room here is temporary. If I grab some coal, and then I put the coal in the one on the left, and I put my pickaxe in the first slot on the one on the right, and then we just enable these. This is a cheap way to get Fortune 3. Because an Ender Quarry, if I look up EXU for a second here, where are you? There. If we look at the Quarry upgrades, and then we look at Fortune 3, it has a power drain multiplier of 80. It's 80 times its power use, which means that it can use up to something like, I think, 1 million RF a tick, something ridiculous like that. It's probably way over the top, but there you go. Also get experience, which is nice. Although I have nothing here to collect the experience. But, as you can see, this vacuum chest here is picking up everything. So that's a way to avoid the power cost on there, because although this uses power, it doesn't use anywhere near 100,000 RF a tick. Instead, my quarry, I've cleared it accidentally, whoops, is using Silk Touch, which is only 1.5 times the normal cost, so a 50% increase. on its standard power usage, and that's the only upgrade on it at the moment, so it's kind of slow, but it has been working, as you can see. I've got some iron and whatnot. It's in the deep dark. Why don't we go there and I'll show you for a second. That's another one of those things I set, oh, wrong book. That's another one of those things that I set up off camera, just because I don't think like ender quarries are that interesting. They're pretty set and forget. Same with endothermal pumps and what have you. It's much more interesting seeing the end result, if you ask me. Let's see, deep dark. Here we are. So I did some manual mining down in this pit, and then I decided, as much as I don't like quarries, I'm going to use one anyway. So here it is. We have an ender quarry. It's currently not on at the moment because I accidentally left the generator on last night, and the chunk loaded area didn't include the Enderman grinders, so I ran out of pearls. So I turned this off while that was refilling. But here we are in the Enderman quarry, the ender quarry, sorry, with the Silk Touch upgrade. Ender chest on top, which is just dumping out all the stuff. I don't have enough barrels, so not everything is being pulled out. This import bus is importing all that stuff into the storage bus, which is why this energy acceptor is here, because this is a small network that requires power, but it's more efficient to use AE to filter out all the things that I don't want, that I'm just putting in the trash can, because unfortunately a lot of the things that can do the filtering for me have a limited size to their filter. And EXU is pretty much the only one that lets me stack filters, because I can put filters within filters, but everything else kind of has like either a 9 or 10 sized filter, and sometimes you need more than that. At the moment I'm only using 8, but that might get bigger as we go along. Let's see if there's anything I want to add to that actually. Yes, I don't want this poor tin ore. The poor ore can go. So now, what's going to happen? Oh, no, it won't, because it doesn't have power. But if I briefly power this, all the poor ore will be pulled out. Here you go. And I will actually just turn that off again. Excuse me, here we go. So now we're up to 9. So we're officially at the limit of most other filters. So there's another thing, I might want to get rid of rock hives, although I've been thinking about doing gendistry on Forgecraft too. And I do want to keep the shards, I want to keep all the dents obviously. I might end up dumping lapis, because you just get so much, especially with the fortune thing going. You just get overwhelmed by lapis. Now the quarry is running, but the filter is not. So anyway, that's the ender quarry. Pretty simple setup. So if we go back here, was there anything else I changed? Oh yes, temporarily we have lights on top of the giant ender pearl, because I found that in the end Enderman spawning respects lights to an extent. Weirdly, even though this is lit up, oh, that is not what I meant to do. If I turn on F7 and I come out here, is it on or is it off? No, it's on. Okay. You'll see that this whole area is lit up. But sometimes Endermen end up in the corners over here, and I'm not sure what's doing it. Apparently they can spawn maybe on top of that or something that the F7 isn't showing. It might be that they can spawn on top of wedge slopes or something and they're not properly lit up. I have no idea. I think Tema ended up having a problem similar to this. But I also added 4 more grinders. That was inspired by the fact that I ran out of pearls last night. So now we have the corner grinders. And officially I think I have most of the asteroid covered. So it's really just the outskirts of the asteroid where the Endermen aren't reached, because each of these has a range of 64. Excuse me, truck. Sorry about the noise outside. So these guys here will eventually either pick this one or this one. They chose that one. And eventually, once the resources come flowing in, these iron ones will be exchanged for gold ones and will be set up much the same as the concept one over there. So, I think you're all caught up. So from this point on, it's probably going to be a bit of a time lapse. And first things first, is I want to turn this big tube, cylindrical thing, into obsidian. And that's why I have my resonant exchanger, which I want to turn up, which I can't seem to tell. Hang on. So let me get some obsidian out of here. I will... Oh, right. I want that. Thank you. And I'll just dump that down there. Gets picked up by the vacuum. Obsidian. Great. Alright, so now I can see what radius I'm working with. So we'll maximize that radius. And I'll get to work. See you at the end. are back. It is the end of part 1 of this time lapse. I've hit a bit of a bump, but also we've kind of gone a little bit over time for the episode. Yes, I'm still trying to stick to 30 minutes. I know you guys, some of you guys anyway, like the longer ones, but unfortunately stats say that 30 minutes is probably the longest you should make things. Ideally, you should be keeping them around about 15 minutes, but I don't think that's long enough, so 30. Anyway, towards the end of the time lapse, you probably saw me messing around here with different colour blocks. I tried prismarine and cyan stone. Did I try any others? I don't know. I can't remember. But yes, I'm trying to find an accent, and the accent I want it to match closely this, right? And I could just use this again in the build, but I don't kind of want to have to repeat the same textures over and over again, and I think keeping this exclusively to the giant pearls is probably for the best. So what I came up with was I want to try and get botany teal, because if I do I still have it on me? I do. If I go teal, you'll notice that when this is the block of solid ender, and the teal, while different, matches it closely enough, right? A little more green would be nice, but unfortunately we can't have everything unless we use the same block. So yeah, while I like the kind of monotone purple, I think it would be best to break it up with an accent. It'll look a lot better, trust me, once it is broken up with another accent. And that accent will be teal. However, it's a bit tricky to get, so that's where the speed bump comes into the whole time-lapse thing. Because I'm going to have to go and start another mod, which is the botany stuff from Binny's mods. So if we go to botany... Where are you, botany? You're in B, obviously, but there we go. Botany. So it's all this stuff. And I've got no idea what I'm doing, so I'm going to have to make these books and read up on them, see what we have to do. Hopefully it won't be too much of a struggle, because I would just like to kind of make teal blocks, right? And hopefully we can do that. So anyway, that's where we're at with the time lapse. So this officially is kind of like a part 1. Then we'll have the botany break, and then we'll carry on with whatever we're doing in here with the part 2 of the time lapse. So, other things I wanted to talk about were the channel stuff, but the video's dragging on, so I better make it quick. Heretic is finishing up. There's 3 more episodes to go as the time of this video, which is great, because once Heretic is over we can move on to another game, and hopefully you guys like that one a bit more. I love Heretic, but its stats show I only get a couple of hundred views on each of my Heretic videos compared to Minecraft videos, which usually end up with a couple of thousand. So yeah, it's pretty big discrepancy, but we'll be moving on to another old game. Just in case you were thinking it was going to be something new. No, we're going to move on to Unreal or Terran 2000. I haven't decided yet. But whenever that happens, I'll start uploading those as well. And sorry about the lack of content on the channel. I've just had it hectic at the moment. I'm also dealing with quite major fatigue. Doctor doesn't know what's causing it, but we're trying to solve it anyway. Because I've been sleeping a lot of my days away. I've been getting about 5 good hours in a day of energy, and then I just want to kind of take a kip. So prevailing theory is it's diet, because I don't eat much or very well. So yeah, we're gonna see what we can do about that. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.